Hey everybody, happy Saturday evening live tutorial stream. Hope everyone's doing okay wherever you are out there on the internet today. And we're going to be doing a fun project that's not actually a beading project, though, as Lori observed on Zoom last night. It is actually an identical technique to something that we have done in the past as an earring project. So this is it's a Suncatcher, and it's designed to hold the crystal of your choice. You could put an orb in there, you could really put whatever you wanted to in there, and I was trying to get my pattern down. Hi Sophia! We have, and I didn't do any promoting of it because I'm still trying to get back on my game, but we have some amazing merchandise for all of you tonight on the live merchandise sale that Sophia brought us or purchased on our behalf when she was in Greece, and there's some really stinking cool stuff, so I'm very excited to have that on the sale this evening. And so we're going to get that going tonight around 7:30, but we're going to start with this cool Suncatcher. So as Lori observed on Zoom last night, we literally did do exactly the same design as an earring a while back. The only difference was it was 4-sided instead of 3-sided, but hi Silver! But it's still the same technique. And then I was trying to kind of get my pattern down, so I was using some larger metal bugle beads to just kind of practice. Earlier today. I feel better about myself because what I did realize is in order to get everything really stable, you do actually have to go through, hi Corvus, you do actually have to go through each of these tubes multiple times. So I thought I was just being extremely inefficient when I was making my sample here, because I literally used like over 10 feet of monofilament to make this, but no, you really actually do need that much cord. So it's going to look like I'm cutting a completely wacky amount of cord this evening, but you are actually going to use pretty much all of it. So what are you going to need to make this project? You're going to need tubing, brass or copper tubing in approximately a 5mm size. Now, here's the thing about tubing, is usually it's sold in 12-inch sections. This can be a bit of a pain in the butt, because even though you really only need 36 inches of tubing, you're actually going to need probably 4 sections of tubing in order to get your lengths correct. Now you could absolutely adjust your lengths, so you could get it out of 3 12-inch sections if you wanted to. I wasn't quite that forward thinking when I when I did my sample. So I've got 5mm copper tubing, and what I'm going to wind up cutting from it are 3 pieces that are 5 inches long, and so that's where I'm going to bust over into that 3rd piece of tubing, and then I'm going to cut 6 pieces that are, I want to say 3.5 inches? Yes, 6 pieces that are 3.5 inches, excuse me, 6 pieces that are 3.5 inches long. You don't need to make this asymmetrical. You can do the same thing with all the same length of pieces, as you can see by my little mini sample here. I like the look of the asymmetry, but you really can do it any size that you want. And yes, you can do it with 4 sides instead of 3 as well. The technique's pretty much the same. In addition to your tubing, you are going to need some wire. I'm using some 24 gauge gold filled, something to hang from the bottom of your Suncatcher. This is optional, so I'm using a quartz crystal and a little piece of black tourmaline for the top of that, and I should probably put them somewhere where that black tourmaline hopefully isn't going to roll away. You're going to need some fishing line. No, you don't need this much fishing line, but you are going to need a solid 10 or 15 feet of cord in order to do this, and then a couple of larger soldered rings. And these are going to be what's going to go at the top of our piece to hold a string to hang this from, and then the bottom to hold our little dangly crystal. And then of course this is interchangeable, so you can put the crystal of your choice in here. You don't have to have the same crystal in there all the time. You can switch it out depending on your mood. So as far as supplies go, that's what we're going to need. As far as tools go, I'm going to need a couple of specialized tools for cutting the tubing. Now, if you have a tubing cutter, you can totally use that. I actually don't. It's one of the few tools that I don't actually own. So I'm going to be using a jeweler saw with a 2/0 saw blade, and then my tube holding jig. and a bench pin. So the bench pin is basically just a place for me to rest my tube holding jig while I'm sawing my tubing. And as far as tools go, in addition to that, you are just gonna need a scissors. You don't really actually need Wait, why are Corvus and Dogsy fighting? What did I miss? I look away for 2 seconds and they're like, you know, there's stuff going on in the chat. So I'm going to start by marking my sections. So like I said, I need 6 sections at 3.5 and 3 sections at 5. So just going to grab my ruler and start marking. Okay, so 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Okay, so there's 3 of my 3.5 inch sections. Okay, I'm like, what did I do? How did I start a fight? I haven't even done much. 3.5, 3.5, and 3.5. Okay, so that's 6 sections at 3.5 inches. Now I'm going to do 3 at 5. So if you wanted to fix this so that you could get it out of 3 pieces of tubing instead of 4, you just need to take that top dimension down to 4 instead of 5. Okay, so now I've got all that. I've got all that marked. So this is a yeah, so this is a tube cutting jig, and so all this does is it lets me line up my cut line with this little channel here, and then it gives me a little thumb tab to hold, and then what I can do is I can actually rest this in my bench pin, and I need to load my saw blade. So I've got my 2-aught saw blade, and I just need to, you don't want to store your saw with tension on the blade, so when I'm done using my saw, I'll just release it from the top receptacle of my saw frame, and so I just need to put it back. Make sure you've got good tension on your saw blade. You should hear a nice high-pitched ping when you flick it like that. Now we're going to go back to where we were a second ago before I realized that I didn't actually have a functional saw. Okay, so there we go. So that's in my jig, and then I've got my jig, and I'm just going to rest it in my bench pin. And so I'm holding down with my thumb, and then I'm kind of pushing it against my pin. Y'all are funny. And then I'm just gonna, and the whole idea of the jig is it's supposed to minimize Eep. I knew that was going to fall on the floor. It's supposed to minimize vibration when you're cutting your tubing, because that makes it a lot harder to cut. Pretty sure all of these are going to fall on the floor, so I should probably just cut them all and then pick them all up. So that's one 5-inch piece of copper tubing. So, so your saw will give you a pretty nice, clean end. You could buff that out with some sandpaper if you really wanted to, but I don't even think I need to in this instance. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to cut my other pieces of tubing. Okay, so somebody fill me in about what Corvus and Dogsy are fighting about, because I am curious. And I'm assuming it's funny. No, this will cut actually a really nice edge. I mean, I really don't even feel the need, which is my cut edge. I don't even really feel the need to sand this. That is one thing about saws, is they cut much nicer. Well, I know she knows why, but I want to know why. I'm just being nosy. But that's the thing about saws, is they do cut much nicer edges than shears. So you do wind up with less finishing work to do. I never thought you did, Corvus. Though I wouldn't put it past you. Sorry, apparently I'm not having a very good sewing night. The fact that my benchman doesn't like this table is not helpful. Oh boy. Well, hi, Tatty Fett. How's it going? How's everything? Right now my bench pin is not being happy with me. There we go. See, if you can just get the right angle on it, it goes really, really good. Yay! Alright, so this one, because I snapped it, this one's a little rougher, so I could take some sandpaper to that if I really wanted to. The cool thing about this not being a piece that's going to be worn is you don't need to worry as much about finishing the edges. You just need to make sure that you're not going to cut your thread. Thanks, Tallyfet. This is my, I didn't have time to curl my hair this morning look. So thank you. That might also be why I was having trouble, is my blade was getting dull and it just snapped. So pardon me whilst I go grab another blade. This is completely Murphy's Law, because if I have the blades over here with me, of course I don't break any, but the minute I'm like, no, I'll be fine, I don't need to bring the blades over the streaming area, that is when I break blades. So, you know, it figures. So Tidyfoot, what you doing tonight aside from watching the Beading Dream stream? Anything interesting? Okay, so once again, so we'll see if this works better with a newer saw blade. Ooh, making some earrings and catching up on The Walking Dead. You know, I had to tap out of The Walking Dead because it was just too much for me. Nope, it's in there, right? So let's see. Tallyfoot's got earrings in Walking Dead. Dogsy and Corvus are having some kind of a fight involving Iceland. Let's see, what in the world is your problem? And I am having a bit of a struggle cutting this tubing, which is weird. Okay, this is not the thing that I was expecting to be struggling with tonight. Actually had a pretty slow day here at the Beading Dreams, which is unusual for a Saturday. My second blade I've broken tonight. Oh, yes, Corvus, I am familiar with that term. Hi, Heather. Heather is working remote. She is working on the never-ending flag project, which is going to be the soon-to-be-ending be-ending flag project, because we need to deliver them to the client. The good news is when we deliver them to the client, we get paid, so there's that. But we need to finish them first. Yes, but unfortunately, we don't get the money if we don't actually finish the thing. I see. Oh, Corvus. Good Lord. Okay, I promise normally I'm actually better at this than this. This tubing is just being a pain. It's like I can't find the right way to hold it, partly because I can't get far enough away in my streaming area from this. Like, seriously. English is weird. You are not wrong about that, Corvus. Not even a little bit. English is strange. 100%. Okay, finally got that one done. Only... I wonder if this will work any better. Poor Heather, flagging forever and ever. How is our progress, Heather? Just out of curiosity. I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty with this. Like, seriously. This is not normal. We're trying another hack. Oh, that door is really heavy because it's full of hammers. Okay. We shall see you later, Tiny Fat. Oh my gosh, it's been flag season for a while, Corvus. Thankfully, we are nearing the end of the thing. Okay, so we're gonna see if this works. It's actually taped it down to my bench pin. I don't know why my blade just keeps getting caught. Alright, well, of all the things I've tried thus far, this is the one that works the best. So we're gonna go ahead and go with that. The only thing I can think of is this tubing is significantly thinner than the first one that I used, the brass tubing that I used to make my sample, which you would think would not make it harder to cut, but apparently it does. So, you know, learned something new on this stream. But yeah, this seems to be the best strategy so far. Yeah, my blade just keeps binding up in it. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, so I promised the laborious sounds like music. The laborious process of cutting tubing is almost over. I just have 3 more cuts to make, and then we can actually go on to like making this project instead of just chopping pieces of metal into bits.
Excuse me, Allison, do you have Jane's contact information? She left her wallet here.
Oh lordy.
Her keys.
How did she go somewhere without her keys?
I don't know. Maybe her car keys are on a separate keyring?
Yeah, that's...
But I mean, I looked inside. It's definitely hers.
Okay, can I just forward you her contact?
Yeah,
Huh. I mean, at least she took her phone.
That's true.
But
I don't know how she left. I don't know how she left.
yeah, the keys. The keys, I think, are what gets me. Because even if... Oh, because you know what? She was driving her mom's car. So I bet she has separate keys for that. She is going to be not happy when she gets to the grocery store, though, and has no wallet to buy food with. So this is weird. This is not a problem I would ever have anticipated, that a thinner tubing would be harder to cut. So, you know, live and learn. Let me just do it the slow and laborious way. And again, the cool thing is, as long as you cut it most of the way through, especially since it's so thin, you can just snap it. So at least it doesn't create quite as nice of an edge, but it's still workable, and it's faster. Corva said sounds like music. I know, we just need like somebody playing the washboard and a banjo somewhere in the corner. Ah, come back here. Alright, one more cut. And then we can actually do the thing. Instead of just watching me hack at tubing. Of course, it's not a Beading Dream stream if I don't bash my camera. Come on, it's the last cut. Okay, so interesting. So, if I ever do this project again, I think I need to invest in either a finer saw blade. This is a 2/0, which is what I consider more of an all-purpose saw blade. That's what I pretty much will use for everything, but obviously this metal needs something a little bit finer, so that's interesting. So I would definitely invest in a finer saw blade, or just get a tubing cutter, which probably, you know, would have saved me a whole lot of agony on this stream. Alright, but now I got that through enough that I can snap it, and we're good to go. I'm just going to grab a piece of sandpaper and just give these guys a quick sand, and then we can move onwards. The good news about the metal being thin is it sands really easily. Ooh, spoons. God, I always wanted to teach myself to play with spoons. I never managed to quite grasp the technique. Spoons and bones, I was never able to teach myself. I mean, it's pretty much the same technique. But yeah, I always wanted to be musical or have a musical instrument I could play, but I'm not a musical person. So I, I'm like, okay, well, I have rhythm because I'm a dancer. Yay! Sharon can teach me to play the spoons. That's awesome. I'm like, I've got rhythm. So something like spoons is ideal for those of us who have rhythm but no tonal facility whatsoever. Cool. Thank you, Dogsy. Yes. Yeah, definitely. The thickness of the metal is the only thing I can think of, because it is significantly thinner. The copper tubing is thinner than the brass tubing that I used for my sample. So all I can think of is the thinness of it kept folding up around my saw blade and binding up. How about kazoo? I don't know that I want to torture anybody by making them listen to me play the kazoo. I feel like that would just be... I think there's a level in Dante's Inferno dedicated to people playing the kazoo. And Heather's having... Okay, well... We're going to do what we're going to do on tonight's stream, and hopefully everything will get done, and I've got to still arrange everything over here, but we're going to finish this project first. So I'm going to grab my big ass spool of fishing line, and I'm going to pull off legitimately like 15 feet. And yes, that was very, very precise measuring that happened right there. You all saw it on the Beading Dream stream. Okay, so now I'm going to take my...
It's Jane. Got it.
Okay, that's true. I mean, oh lordy, I have so many stories from the Renaissance Festival about people playing bagpipes badly. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to make 2 triangles. So we're going to make one triangle like this, and then we're going to make another triangle like this. So I'm going to take my cording, my fishing line, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to string these 3 pieces, and so these are all the same size pieces. These are all the shorter pieces. So I'm going to string these 3 pieces onto my fishing line. Just stick them on there. Alright, and then I'm going to make them into a triangle, and then I'm just going to finish the triangle by taking this end. This is the long end, so you're going to need to find the end, which is like 15 feet down the line. And this is pretty thick fishing line. What the heck is this? This is 50 pound. So it's sturdy. Sorry, I popped off a nail during the struggle with the tubing. So it's pretty sturdy, and the good thing about the tubing is it's big enough that you can take this big fishing line through it multiple times. Just need to remember which end you're pulling. Ah, no! Now that's on the floor. Okay, so now I have one triangle, and nobody wants the control panel right now, and I'm going to rescue that from the floor. At least it's still in one piece, so yay for that. I don't know where I'm going to put it. You just stay there. Just sit, stay.
Not dog, Allison.
Well, it needs to behave better than it's behaving now, because it's falling on the floor and I don't like it. But let's see. Okay, so here's an interesting question while I'm gluing my nail back on before I continue. Alright, so what instruments, if any, does everybody out there on the stream play? Okay, Sharon has already said that she plays spoons, and I'm assuming also finger cymbals, since she offered that as an option for our Beading Dreams rhythm section. So what does everyone else play? If anything, does anybody actually play the kazoo? Oboe! I did not know that about you, Jan. Oboe is a lovely instrument. Violin, clarinet, and piano. Awesome. Yes, I think Heather wins for, and piccolo. Goodness, Sharon. I had no idea everyone was so musically talented. I think Heather wins the award for the largest instrument that anyone on stream knows how to play, since tuba is her thing.
You didn't know that about Heather?
Yeah. Piano for Pam. Oh, that's cool, Lori. I mean, silver, and I guess that just depends in which fashion you're using it. Hopefully that'll stay on. I think that's not going to stay on. Oh. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and, ooh, guitar, bass, keyboard, and clarinet. Oh, and Sharon can march. Fancy. Okay, so now I'm going to take and I'm going to make a second triangle with these two, and
I can march, just not at the same time as I play an instrument.
that's fair. MSRB. Well, you know, whatever works. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this long end of my string through here, through here. I mean, hey, whatever gets you followers on, you know, TikTok. Alright, so that's our second triangle. Go through, I'm just going to go through this one again. Maybe? Yes, okay. Like, where's the end? I lost it. Alright, so then if you yank on both these ends, we will actually get now two triangles. So now we're going to do the fun part where we're going to turn this three-dimensional. One of these triangles is going to get flipped up, and then I'm going to put my last short piece, which is not that. Did I not cut 6 pieces? Am I really that out of it? That answer that, y'all. That was not a, that was a rhetorical question. But apparently I have lost a piece of tubing. They are exactly like giant bugle beads, Prince. You are correct. And so I did do this technique, exact same technique with bugle beads and an earring a while back. And you can do this 3-sided or you can do it 4-sided. Right? That's why I love you guys. You don't judge much. Well, okay, I will say that this is actually the most success I've had cutting this tubing using this ancient Office Depot ruler that has the channel down the middle, and so I'm able to kind of brace it in the channel, and that has actually, yeah, that was the easiest cutting. So, you know, it only took me an hour to figure that out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take now this new piece of tubing that I've cut, and it's going to go there. So that's where we start making our 3-dimensional pyramid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cord up here and then down and then back through. For the bugle bead earrings, Sharon, I actually used Fireline. You could do them with monofilament, but you'd have to use such a thin monofilament to do bugle beads that I feel like Fireline is going to give you just way more strength for its size. Okay, so now we're going to add this piece of tubing. Alright, so this is going to form this leg here of our pyramid. And what we need to make sure to do is we need to make sure that we've got all three, like we should have a triangle of filament here. And this is why you've got to go through everything so many times to get that braced. So what I'm going to do, so what I need in order to make this sturdy at the top here is I need a piece of filament coming from this tube into this tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this side of the triangle, back up this leg, and then down through. That's awesome, Lori. Yes, I let's see. When I was a youngin', I was always given a choice. Whenever I wanted to take up something new, I could do that, or I could stay in dance lessons. And so obviously I stayed in dance lessons. That was always my choice. Now, where do you go? So you do want to make sure that you don't, because I have this little loose here, and you want to make sure you get all that tightened out before you get too involved in all of the wrapping around. Oh goodness! And then were they a person and a dog that you knew, Pam? I hope, or was there just a random person and a random dog in your house? Inquiring minds want to know. So what I've done here is I should have tightened this up before, because I'm at the point now where I can't pull and have this tighten, which means now I actually have to figure out where does this go. So that's always fun. Like, I know where this one goes. Oh, hot mess express tonight on the Beading Dream stream, y'all. Sorry. At least I'm here. Woo. Okay, that's where that one goes. So that's gotta be one of those two. Okay, I'm taking this off camera because this is painful for me to watch. Okay, so we're just going to backtrack a bit. It'll be okay. Yes, okay, there we go. I think that got it. Yeah, I never had any vocal talents to speak of. So yeah, I just stuck with dancing. Aw. You get that thing where you're like, oh my god, my, my, oh. Wait, what about riding bikes with my dad? Okay, finally did it. I made a freaking pyramid. This is not difficult. I just made it difficult. So now we're gonna take the string and we have to make now the other half of our pyramid. So once again, we're gonna find the long string, and since I have these two close together, I'm just gonna go ahead and tie them off, and that's gonna make my life a lot easier. That's true, but that wasn't really a hobby so much. I'm talking about like whenever I wanted to do something like gymnastics or violin or flute, then I always, you know, got the pick one. Horseback riding. Okay, so now this is tied off, and hopefully this next set of things will not be quite so torturous. Also, hi Nancy! Okay, so I'm going to start through one of these tubes. It doesn't really matter which one right now because it's an equilateral pyramid. So I'm just going to pull that all the way through. Actually, Nancy, this this sample was made with tubing that came from the basement. I polished it up and I made this thing. This is my grandfather's tubing. This is copper tubing I got off of Amazon. Okay, so now we make the next side of our pyramid. So we're gonna go, so if we think of this as kind of our base, now we're gonna go upwards. So I'm gonna take two long pieces. So now I've used all of my pieces, all my 3.5 inch pieces of tubing. So now I've got my 5 inch pieces of tubing. And so I'm gonna go ahead and string 2 of those onto my monofilaments. I'm just gonna go all the way through them. Alright, and then I'm just gonna bend them to make my triangle. Doesn't really matter where you put it at this point. So you can go, you know, here, you can go here. It really does not matter. So I'm just gonna pick here. So I'm gonna go through this tube right here, that direction, to get that triangle. And just pull on it. Voila. So then all we need to do is do our third leg, which is gonna go on the floor again for like the 4th time tonight. So 4th leg is gonna go there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up and then down. Also, hi 16 people. It's nice to see y'all out there. Hope everyone is having a good Saturday night. Thank y'all for being sweet on my first stream back after a bit of a rough week. Okay, so now we're gonna go down through that last piece of tubing. So what I have now is my pyramid, and then I've got a triangle up here. And then I'm gonna go through this one. And so this one is now going to connect here. So here's the thing about making this secure is you always want to try to connect with an angle. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to go down through that one because it's not going to sit right. So I can choose either to go this way or this way. It doesn't really matter at this point because I'm about to go through a whole lot more to reinforce it. Yes, happy fur news, Corvus, share. We always like happy fur news on the Beading Dreams stream. We've had plenty of not happy fur news this week, so tell us something happy. All right, so there we go. So that is, yay, getting another puppy today. All right, tell, what kind? Okay, so now what I have to do is I've got to reinforce this puppy. So what I need to look for is any places like right here at the top where I don't have a full triangle of cord reinforcement. Sorry, my camera's not quite focused for that, but so I just need to find all of those, and I need to, you know, add that third leg. Some of my places already have it, but like see here, I should have 4. I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm missing this one. So now basically you're just kind of, you know, going on the maze of this piece that you're making to try and get all those spots reinforced. Corvus is getting another Russell Terrier mix, but a boy. Do you have a name picked out for your new boy puppy? So this is where you're going to discover that you are going to be eating up. This is where you're going to be like, oh, this is why I needed 15 feet of fishing line to do this. So I'm just going to find all of those places that need reinforcement, and I'm just going to go trace my path so that I can get everything stable. Because this is pretty, I mean, once it's done, this is a pretty sturdy construction. I mean, I wouldn't go like whacking anybody with it, but it's, you know, it's stable. So once you've got all those anchor points, then it's also going to be symmetrical, and then I'll be able to put a loop around there, and it'll stay in the center. So now I'm just reinforcing. Ooh, Rayo, lightning in English. That's awesome. Oh, that's totally not the right scene. Sorry, y'all. That's what I'm making right now. So you have Star and you have Lightning. And what's your other puppy's name? A girl that I danced with in my younger years. Her last name was Bolt, spelled B-O-L-D-T. But they had 2 vans. The Bolts did, and they had vanity plates on their vans, and one said Lightning, like L-I-10 Lighten I-N. The other one said Thunder, which I always thought was pretty cool. Estrella Luna. Okay, so yeah, so Corvus has Star and Moon, and now Lightning. That's pretty cool. Alright, so now I'm, okay, where do I need to go? Alright, I need to go there, but I need to go there, which means I need to go here. It's kind of like a puzzle. Okay, Jan. Yeah, we'll probably, considering it's 7:15, we'll be starting the sale around 7:45, and we're going to have the cool stuff that Sophia got in Greece on the stream. I'm so excited. She got such amazing stuff because she's freaking fantastic. And yeah, I'm so excited about all the cool stuff that's going to be on stream this evening. There's some elephants that are like the cutest thing I have ever seen. Alrighty, so just checking. Okay, this one's good. This one's good. That one's good. That one needs one more, and this one needs one more. Okie dokie. Yes, Corvus, she got such cool stuff. Very, excuse me, very excited about the things from Greece. Okay, so I'm going to work on just kind of wrapping this up so that I can show you the finish. And then I can get to showing you all the cool stuff from Greece. It's very exciting. Make sure everything is tight. Hey everybody! We're running a little late on the project stream tonight, so I'm going to be working on this project for about another 10 minutes or so. We're going to start the sale stream closer to 7:45, and we are going to be featuring all of the totally awesome merchandise that Sophia acquired for us in Greece. Okay, so now that everything is reinforced, the last thing I need to do is I just have to go back to where my beginning string is so that I can tie it off. And I actually didn't use as much on this as I did on my sample, so I'm super excited by the fact that I actually did manage to be a little bit conservative. Oh wow, that's insane. Also, I think fork to push definitely needs to be a button list. Well, luckily I can help you with that. Alright, so I'm just going to tie this off and a square knot, and then you can put a drop or two of hypo cement on that if you so choose. If you yank it tightly enough, you really don't have to, but it's never a bad idea to just and then I can just trim that off. It's never a bad idea to just kind of reinforce it with some glue if you have it handy. I don't have it handy, so therefore I'm not going to do it. And I realize that doesn't look the cutest ever, but in the grand scheme of things, you really can't see it. So now we're going to go ahead and attach our jump rings, which have jumped somewhere. Yep, no idea. Be right back. Nah, I got it. Thank you. Usually when they're missing, it's because I ran away with them. Oh. Bad habit of wandering away with things in my hand. And pliers. Wait, what? This doubles as a Sims costume. Fair point. Okay, so I just have two big old jump rings that I'm going to use. I'm going to put one here that I'm going to hang my crystal from, and then I'm going to put one here that I'm going to hang my string from, or attach my string to. So just open it up. Make sure that you're going underneath all of those. It is, the little one is more of a plumb bob size. God, I have a plumb bob that was my grandfather's, and part of me really wants to hang it up as a decoration, but it is heavy and really pointy. Like, if you hung that thing up and whatever it was attached to snapped, it would literally, like, stick in the floor. It's so heavy and pointy. It's kind of scary. Alright, so once again, make sure you go underneath everything with your ring. And then I'm going to go ahead and wire wrap my crystal in order to put it on there. So that's where I'm going to grab my gold wire. And this is just a regular top drilled wire wrap. You could use pretty much anything to hang off the bottom of this, or you don't even have to hang anything off the bottom of that. So we've got, just go through my crystal, bring it up over the top to cross, bend that straight up, wrap the short one around the long one. This is basic top drilled wire wrapping. If you've got a little bitty end like I do and you can't get a hold of it with your fingers, you can use a pliers to help you bring that around. And then you're going to trim and tuck it in. Like so. And then I'm going to drop my tourmaline on there. And then I'm just going to do a basic wire wrap loop on top of that. So away, rotate, back up over the top, rotate, underneath. Since this is a jump ring, I don't actually have to attach this onto my ring right now. I can do that after I've closed the loop, which is nice because you can get I always find it easier to get a nice looking loop if there's nothing on it. So I'm just going to hold across that loop with my pliers, and I'm going to wrap down until I reach that tourmaline bead. Make nice tight wraps. Yes, I forgot to bring a wire cutter over here, which is why I'm cutting with my metal shears. But hey, it does work. Tuck that in, like so. And then, so the way that I have designed this is I like the big part on the top and the little part on the bottom. You could do it the other way around. You would just need a pretty sizable crystal to fill that space. So I'm going to just open up my jump ring, drop my crystal on, close that up nice and tight, and take my little piece of satin string that's going to be my hanger, and I'm going to just tie a knot in the end of that, just a regular overhand knot. And I'm going to attach that with a lark's head knot to my other jump ring. So lark's head knot is where you have a loop of cord, and you're just going to pass that loop through your jump ring, and then take the ends of the cord, which in this case are the ones you've knotted, pass that through that loop, and then just pull tight. So that's a knot that pretty much everyone knows how to do. Most people just don't know what it's called. Why do I keep hitting that? That is so not what I want to hit. And then of course the last thing is you need a chunk of crystal to go in there. And there you go. Ta-da! So it was not without its trials and tribulations, but we did successfully make our pyramid protection Suncatcher. This one's got an amethyst crystal in it as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out on the Beading Dreams stream. For this project, like I said, it had a few hiccups, but all in all, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So everyone, thanks so much for hanging out with us for the tutorial stream. It's Saturday night. That means it is sale night, so I gotta get stuff set up since I don't have a Heather here. So we'll be back in about 20-30 minutes. A candle would be really pretty, Prince. Or somebody else was saying an air plant, and you could even put an air plant on a crystal in here, and then you could get the best of both worlds. So yeah, so we'll be back in about 20-30 minutes with the live merchandise sale featuring the cool stuff that Sophia brought us from Greece, and I might grab some more 8-inch strands as well. So I'm going to go get that all together, and we will see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream at 7:45-ish for the sale. So I'm going to go do my thing, and we'll see you soon. Bye.